Good morning. Welcome to Sacred Enzyme. I'm Stacy. I hope you're doing well today. I think I got myself together from the last video that I did. Sorry about that again. But you know what? We have to process these emotions. This is what we're here for. We're here to experience. So the thing I want to talk about is the Gospel of Thomas. And the Gospel of Thomas is one of these that was found in the Nag Hammadi, and it's actually called Thomas's name is not called just the Gospel of Thomas. His name is Didymos, Didymos Judas Thomas. Okay, and this is what this gospel is, and this was his secret teachings to Thomas from Jesus. These are personal teachings that no one else got but Thomas, okay? So this book opens with the lines, "These are the secret words which the living Jesus spoke." And the twin, Didymos Judas Thomas, wrote them down. The twin, did you get that, folks? What have we been talking about with these enzymes, these sacred enzymes that happen in these bloodlines and this Rh negative factor? A lot of twins, a lot of twin births. Right? Exactly. Was Jesus a twin? This is the question. Did Jesus have a twin brother? Seriously. Because the name Thomas Didymos, well, Thomas is Hebrew for twin, and Didymos is Greek for twin. Come on. The implication here is that Jesus is a twin. Okay? Of course, also appears in the Gospel of John. He's one of the disciples, the twin. Here it appears as if he's Jesus' actual twin. And he's the one who knows the secret teachings. And which Jesus, he didn't give all the secret teachings to anybody. He gave them to Mary Magdalene, right? And they always talk about her being the Holy Grail. Well, you know what the Grail is? That's your vag. That's a woman's womb. That's what the Holy Grail is. You're going to go around all over the world looking for a cup that don't exist? It's the Virgin Mother's womb. It's the Mother Goddess. It's Mother. Yeah, if we didn't have her, there'd be nobody. We couldn't exist. We couldn't exist without birth. That's how you're born. So, it's saying here that in these teachings that Thomas is Jesus' twin. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Jesus had a twin brother? And that this is proof of it? I think it might be possible. As I'm starting to unravel more and more of this stuff about Atlantis and studying religion and philosophy, because I love the mother. I have the love for Sophia. I want to know, right? We want gnosis, like Dionysus, But there's good and bad in everything. There's good and bad in everything. And a lot of these religions became polluted. So we got to go back and look at the first religions. And one of the first religions was what we talked about in one of my other videos. It's Zoroastrianism. It came from the Aryans that were in Iran before Iran became Muslim. And this race of Aryans, or Indo-Europeans, these people were leftover survivors from Atlantis. These are Atlantean people. And they were in America, and their civilization was like 25,000 years ago. And so, I'm going to wrap it up on the Gospel of Thomas, but I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Jesus could have had a twin? I think it might be possible. I think it might be possible. I think that he's one of the people from Atlantis. Atlantis was here, and we were living in an amazing time. And I'm also reading a book. It's called Life with the Paiutes. And they talk about when the Native Americans came here, that there were people already here. They were tall, Aryan people that had a civilization here, and they lived in harmony, And this is where the Native Americans modeled their democracy. They cared for each other. You know, the Native American tribes, they never, you know, they didn't leave anybody behind. They modeled their civilization after these people that were here. These people, this is where all these old world structures came from, friends. They came from the Atlantean race that was already in this whole country. How do you think that those Egyptian mummies got cocaine in them from South America? It's because this place was already civilized, and they knew about every plant there was because these people were technologically advanced. They knew medicine, they knew everything. I mean, some of the things lasted after the cataclysm. One of the things was that you needed to worship Mother Earth because she was going to give you life. Right? We can't live without Mother Earth. Are we going to go crawl inside the earth and see if they'll take us in? Because, you know, a lot of these Atlanteans, I believe, you know, they're living inner earth. I know it sounds hard to believe, but, you know, we have to go back and revisit everything that has to do with Germany, because we've been shoveled some horseshit along with all of this Hitler stuff, you know, and the swastika and all that. See, they've made all of these things like evil symbols. And the reason that they've done that is because they don't want us digging. As long as we don't dig, ask questions, and pry, because as soon as we see a swastika on something, we automatically go into a complete state of reactiveness. Just like how Jewish people get so triggered when they see a swastika. You know, it's trauma. It's trauma. But why do you think that they were traumatized? Because the Jewish people are part of this civilization. They ended up in Judea. But also you had this thing happen in the late 1500s where they started doing these sex rituals. And so they divided the Jewish population. They're still trying to do it right now. That's why you've got these two groups. You've got these Jewish, beautiful, peaceful Jewish people that are like some of the most kindest, smartest, amazing people I know. And then you have this other group that's really bad. And they're in the cabal. They're the cabal. You know, they're Zionists. And, you know, I'm just stating facts of what I have learned from lots and lots of studying, research, and reading. Is that you had evil that has creeped in everywhere. It's in everything, just like in the Freemasons. You believe it or not, they're actually really good Freemasons. And there's some really bad ones because everything's been penetrated by evil, you know. And you've got these different sects. You got these nefarious families that are running the planet right now. And you know, as long as we allow them to, it's going to happen. If you don't try to take care of yourself, you know, are you going to jump out of the loop? Are you going to unplug? That's the question. Are we going to unplug and start doing things for ourselves? Are we going to turn back into our communities? You know, everybody participates, just like in the old times, just like the Paiutes did. You know, these people were here a long time ago. It makes sense that they don't want to talk about these gigantic remains. You know what I mean? These giants that they've recovered. I mean, how do you know that with all of this ritual stuff that they were doing, and the fact of energy, how energy works, and that giants were descendants from angelic beings when they first fell and crystallized into this material realm? How do you know that they're not eating them, grinding them up and eating them like they were? You know, they were going and getting these mummies out of Egypt, and they were grinding them up and taking them as tonics. That was happening like 1800s in England. So how do we know that's not what happened to all these giant remains? Maybe they're grinding them up and eating them, trying to get power from them. Nothing would surprise me, truthfully. Or the fact that they just want to bury it from the public, you know. So I'm going to end this video here about Jesus and his twin brother. I'd love to hear what you think. It's been 9 minutes, so when you come find me, I'll be here, because we're living the past, the present, the future, all at the same time. So I hope that you're having a great morning, and thanks for watching Sacred Enzyme. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.